Hi, it's Raphael. Once again, we're talking about depression this season. We have a theme that we're going to kick out depression this year, and help us do that because it's a very significant problem around the world these days. And I said the last time that there are three parts to you, as you've had me say many times, that you are a spirit being, you live in a shell called a body, and you have a soul. And depression affects the soul primarily. In the soul, there's the mind, that's what you think, the will, where you decide what to do, and emotions that goes up and down and actually drives your decisions. So if you have things coming to your gates, particularly your ears and your eyes, it goes into your mind, which is a fulcrum of the base where everything falls on. That's the mind, and everything falls or rises on the mind. That's the balancing point where it all falls or rises. And so when it goes into your mind, it goes into what's called the subconscious or the unconscious or the deeper part of the mind. And when it goes to that part of the mind, it checks what's been stored in that deeper part, which has happened from the time you were a child. So as you grow older from a childhood, you have some things that have happened in your life, and they're stored in your subconscious or unconscious or deeper mind, whatever you want to term it, but the other part of the mind that has been since you were a child, it gets stored there and decide that this is how my lot in life will be. And many times we have what's called a bitter root of judgment, where we decide that this is my life and this is how it's going to be, and I can never get it fixed. So when the ideas come into your eyes and your ears, mostly, primarily your ears, and it enters into that place, it knocks on the door, says, "What's here? What's there, guys? Failure, worthless, hopeless. It will not work. I'll get divorced again. It's not going to work. This is how my last wife did, so we're going to divorce very soon. Oh, men don't like me. This man just used me, so he's going to use me. I know he likes me. He says it's good, nice, and he's a nice guy now, but he's going to walk away very soon. I don't trust him, because in your inner mind is that junk that's never come out. So when he finds that junk in the mind, it now it says that's what we got here, mind. So the mind says, well, guys, this is what we got here. Emotion says, "Hey, what we got there, that I feel sad." The will says, "Guys, what are you guys doing?" Mind says it's gonna happen again. Emotion says, we're not doing too good. So what happens? The soul through the will, I will not eat. I will not sleep. Cannot sleep. I'm not gonna go to work. You start to get depressed. So that's a very powerful term, because the mind has said, in my subconscious mind says, ain't gonna happen, ain't gonna succeed, that's it. Out of the way, end the road. So once it says that in that part of your mind, the emotions are set, and the will says, I will not make it. I'm just worthless. I'm just hopeless. I'm just helpless. My dad said so. My mom said so. My mom was helpless. My dad was worthless. My grandfather was useless. My great grandfather was horrible. My siblings, we all failures. I ain't gonna make it. I'm an addict. The doctor says I'm an addict, so I'm always an addict. So I ain't gonna quit this addiction. There's no hope for me. I'm done. And once you say those words out of your mouth, it goes into your ears and reinforces the negativity inside your subconscious. And if you go to a doctor, and he might send you for a counselor, or he might do counseling himself, he might do what we call CBT. It's a cognitive behavior therapy. Basically, cognition in your brain, behavior, how you replace what you think, therapy, how you fix negative and positive, and all. It's just a nutshell. And there's other things like DBT, with a dialectic form, which is good for people like who have like borderline personality disorders. And so there are all kind of, and there are various counseling techniques and types and schools and thoughts and all this stuff. I was taught in the Christian kind of counseling, but there's so many kinds of counseling, and and so there's so many, and they're always evolving. And so they try and help you to get your mind, basically try and get your mind to think positive and all this stuff. But they talk about fixing the mind by words and what you do. Like, let's say you're very anxious, you don't want to go there. You can go a little bit, then go a bit more, then go a bit more, then go. So try and get you used to being exposed to that thing. I don't want to go on the road again. Okay, so go on the road for a short while, maybe watch a video on the road, then think about it, read a book on the road, then step on the road, then come out, then so you kind of get exposed to the little bits that make you feel anxiety to try and get you to get used to it. So there are all kind of techniques. But the part, the kind of the fast covering, we have it's called the Christian Holistic Remodeling, a CHR. We go by the power of God and show you how to uproot from that subconscious all the negative thoughts and put in the positive. Because you see, when depression attacks you in your soul through your mind, primarily, as I said before, it then starts to move in your body. It starts primarily in the mind. Example, let's say you're driving a car and somebody cuts you. You can get so angry and get very depressed. Because it triggers stuff in your mind. Whereas someone might hit somebody else and might hit you and might say, not a big deal, I forgive him. Why did that one trigger anger and that one did not? Did somebody die? So the things that are in the subconscious that trigger all those thoughts. So many times people behave out of, what word can I use? It's out of context, or it's not in proportion to what they're hit with. Some might face such horrible things and it doesn't move them. And then one just looks at it and says, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? And then they kind of unravel. Elijah was a man, in the Bible who was told by a lady called Jezebel that by this time tomorrow, I'm going to have your head on your plate. And the guy just got frazzled and just took off. It was a mighty prophet. He had just killed prophets of Baal. He just sacrificed. He just today destroyed all the demonic forces in the nation. He done some amazing things. He had stopped the rain over a nation for 3 years and came back, and the rain came back again. He had been to the brook and ravens had fed him. He had been to a widow woman and said, widow woman, don't eat all that food. Give me some. Give me that. Go and make meal for me. And I tell you by God's word, you will never lack again. And the woman gave him all the food, and the woman never lacked in the time of famine. And he had seen God do some mighty miraculous things. He had called forth rain at the end of the time, and the rain came, and in fact and when the rain came, he ran. Bible says he told Ahab that, Ahab, get to the gates, because the rain will come and the rain will stop your chariot. There will be a very mighty rain. So Ahab took off, and his chariot running. And the Bible says Elijah picked up a skirt and ran. Bible says he outran, King James language, he ran past the chariots of the king. The fastest chariot in the land were the best horses that could survive in the wilderness, in the desert time, in the farming time. The best horses available were the best horsepower. And Elijah ran, and he took up and he ran past the chariots, and he got to the gates before the king got there. So a man that seen such great miracles, and he was told by a lady, by tomorrow, Elijah, by tomorrow, I'm going to have you. You killed my prophet. Elijah, by tomorrow, I'm going to have your head. He took out. Just he heard her say something. He had seen what she had done before. When he heard her, he says, oh, this one has killed all the prophets in the land before me. Elijah, but you've just killed all the prophets. You've done a mighty work. You had cut down meat. You cut down the cows. All the Baal had cut theirs, and they cried and they put, and nothing happened. And you poured water on yours, and the fire came and consumed yours. Elijah, what going on, bro? What going on, bro? What's going on, brother? And that's in 1 Kings 17, I believe. Just 17 to 19. And you can find out that Elijah got frazzled by her words, which were not in proportion to, compared to what he had done. That should not move him. But then we talk about that later, about how you must learn to celebrate your victories, because if you don't, when you have the victory, when all that thing, adrenaline comes down, you can go deep. And that's another way you have something called called a bipolar, where you go up and down. And bipolar is a very, very important thing that happens also. But that's a bit deeper. Right now, we're focusing more on depression and anxiety. That's easier to explain to you. And so when you see that happen, when the soul gets hit by this attacks, the body responds. I'll talk about the body in the next clip. See you soon.